Destiny will receive its largest expansion yet next week with the launch of the Taken King DLC, but whether or not you buy that expansion, Destiny has changed permanently today with the launch of the 2.0 update. There's a ton of ground to cover on what the Destiny 2.0 update changes, so here's a quick rundown. Regardless of what expansions you own, the character level cap for all players will be increased to level 34. Next week, if you buy the Taken King, it'll get bumped up to level 40. Your character level is going to be grandfathered in based on what your level was before the 2.0 update launches, factoring in equipment that you had in your inventory and in your vault. From now on, your character level will be increased by experience points alone. The light level system is going to be something completely separate. Your light level will be calculated by the average of the attack and defense values across all of your equipped gear. That includes your weapons and armor, but it'll also include your ghosts and class items, which now contribute to your defense and include their own perks, and artifacts, a new item slot. You may notice that the attack and defense values on the armor and weapons that you had before the update launched have been changed. Bungie said that those numbers in practice won't actually change your damage output or damage intake, but have simply been scaled to reflect the new caps for year 2. However, your damage output will change based on your light level, which affects ability damage, weapon damage, and your total health. Intellect, Strength, and Discipline are now categorized into different tiers, which show exactly how much they cut down on the cooldowns of your various abilities. Some of the biggest changes in the 2.0 update are the weapon balance tweaks that have been added to the game. Auto rifles have had their base damage increased and do 30% extra damage to AI combatants in PvE. Pulse rifles will have larger magazine sizes across the board and will do 25% additional damage to AI combatants. Scout rifles also received a magazine size bump and a 5% increase against AI combatants. Hand cannons have had their lethality at long ranges reduced a little bit. Shotguns have received a few nerfs, reducing the effectiveness of range boosting perks. Rocket launchers have a larger blast radius. Machine guns will do 5% extra damage to AI combatants. And fusion rifles have received a 15% damage boost against AI combatants and have been tweaked to be a more medium range weapon. There have also been a ton of tweaks to year 1 weapon perks, frankly too many to get into right now. Exotic weapons have received some pretty dramatic changes as well, the most notable of which being the changes to Thorn's damage over time effect, the Icebreaker's ammo recovery effect, and the damage reduction of Gjallarhorn's Wolfpack rounds by about 1/3. The 2.0 update adds a proper quest system to the game, complete with trackable objectives and previews of the loot you can receive for completing those quests. All of the activities from year 1 have been updated and converted to this new quest system. You can find all of these quest collections for the year 1 content in the tower. Even if you've completed all the year 1 content, you may want to go to the tower and see what quests are available, because each subclass from year 1 has their own quest lines now. Bounties have also been updated. You can now hold up to 16 bounties at a time, up from 10 from year 1. Any incomplete bounties you had from year 1 have been auto-abandoned, while any exotic bounties you had that you haven't finished are auto-completed. Also, Erisborn will no longer offer bounties, however, you can still earn reputation with her once the Taken King launches. Also, you no longer have to turn in bounties at vendors, you can simply do it through the bounty screen in your menu. Another huge change is that your ghost companion will now be voiced by Nolan North. All of the voice work done by Peter Dinklage has been retired.
Don't do that.
The Fallen Wolf patrols that came in the House of Wolves DLC also won't show up in the world anymore. If you're playing in a Strike playlist, you can receive bonus loot and reputation by racking up Vanguard Streak bonuses by playing through multiple strikes without backing out of the playlist. The burn modifiers that show up in the Nightfall, Weekly Strike, and Prison of Elders has also changed. Now burns will only give you double damage of that element type rather than triple damage. However, enemies will still do triple damage against you using that element type. In the Prison of Elders, the Elder Cipher exotic bounty will no longer show up. Rather, the 3 weapons that were rewarded for that bounty will now simply appear in the chest from time to time. The Tower Social Hub has received a ton of changes with the 2.0 update, the largest being the addition of collections throughout the tower. Any shaders, emblems, ships, sparrows, or exotic pieces of armor and weapons can be found in these various collections. You can use these collection terminals that are scattered throughout the tower to conjure up any pieces of equipment that you may have dismantled or lost throughout your Destiny playing career. You can also use the exotic weapon and armor terminals to get extra copies of pieces of equipment for your other characters, or upgrade year 1 exotics that you had to their year 2 counterparts. There's also a collection for emotes, which you can also equip through your character's inventory screen. The amount of items you can store in the vault has increased dramatically. Now you can keep 72 weapons, 72 pieces of armor, and 36 general items in your vault. The Gunsmith NPC in the tower will begin offering field test weapons to earn reputation with him, which will allow you to unlock new legendary weapons on Arms Day, which is every Wednesday. You won't be able to start earning that reputation though until tomorrow, September 9th. The Speaker NPC will now sell you new ghost shells, which don't only affect the look of your ghost, they also give you new perks. The 3 different types of class-specific armor materials are going to be retired in favor of a single armor material. Starting September 15th, you'll be able to trade in your class-specific materials with the Vanguard Quartermaster in exchange for that unified material. The experience-boosting weapon telemetries will now boost items equipped in certain slots rather than the weapon types themselves. For example, instead of a machine gun telemetry and a rocket launcher telemetry, there will simply be a heavy weapon telemetry from now on. The director screen you use to choose your destination throughout the solar system is also changed, and each mission has a new difficulty setting requiring 240 light points in order to access. One other great piece of news for people who are interested in going back and replaying the storyline, you can now skip Destiny's cinematics.
This colony was built by...
There are dozens of other super granular changes that came with the 2.0 update as well, all of which are listed on Bungie's patch notes. In addition to these big changes, Destiny's offering a week-long preview of the Taken King's Crucible editions. You'll be able to play all of the Taken King's new maps and the new Rift game mode until the Taken King launches on September 15th. In that week-long preview, you'll be able to experience some of the changes that have come to Crucible, including a mercy rule that will end blowout games early, and the increased legendary loot drop rates. The Taken King launches on all platforms on September 15th, so we'll be back with another roundup of the new content coming then.